fighting water rights, you're fighting land rights, you're fighting access rights, you're fighting rights that you have that people don't even acknowledge anymore. I think I'm just trying to hang on to that old style of life that money cannot buy, you know, and just I kind of hanging on to it for dear life, you know. So my life is in here, and something that I hope I can, you know, pass down to my children.
Waiahole Valley is known historically for its strong taro and many lo'i. It is one of the few places on Oahu where wetland kalo is still cultivated and made into poi.
When we pull taro, the four of us, we pull taro together. We cover a wide range of topics, I tell you. World problems, personal problems. It all comes out taro talk.
Of course, a lot of it.
It's therapeutic.
We were going to try farming for 1 year. And then you plant it 6 months, and you plant it 8 months, and you plant it 9 months. So now you got to wait past 1 year, right? Because it just goes.
Especially with taro, because you're talking about 1 year or more increments. And if you keep planting, you got to wait to harvest. You're not going to just let your crop grow, so you just get stuck in it.
So you may as well keep planting.
So we're here for at least another 15 more months.
Yeah.
That's the last time we planted.
It's kind of like your babies. You know, you're nurturing them, and they're part of what you have produced, and what you have done is part of you too. So the taro, it becomes like part of you.
It more closely follows the rhythm of your own life too. Like, you know, corn, 72 days, man, it's out of there, it's gone. But taro goes, almost all the taro varieties are a year, more than a year. So the whole cycle of the weather, then we go through the yearly cycle, the seasons, you know, all the different things that you do as an individual. This one crop is going through the whole thing.
And the taste and the shape of it all is affected by those seasons. You can see in the shape of the corn if you had a time when there was too much rain and the taro wasn't growing well. It's hard to describe because you gotta, like, it's more of a aesthetic experience rather than an economic one. It nurtures you while it's growing rather than when you harvest it, as well as when you harvest it.
If you look closely at any place, you see something that's really interesting, you know, and something that's maybe been there for a long time and is become part of that place. In this place, taro is the right plant to grow. In a lot of taro is a good plant to have here, and it has a long history of being here. So it's just like we jumped in as part of that history, and that's what makes it fascinating to grow.
Hui Ulumea'ai, a non-profit organization, was established to support the Waiahole community's long-standing agricultural traditions and to promote economic activities based on food production. The group renovated the old poi factory, which is used by several small businesses, including the poi operation run by Lori and Paul Rapun.
We come down here once a week and make the poi. We sell it on Fridays, and it all gets sold. And we have no middleman. We don't have to take it all somewhere and wait to be paid. The farmers get a better price for their taro, and the community has a place where they can come and get poi.
How are we doing, Toa?
There's a lot of people that come from around the island, and, you know, even call us from the other islands. But our main purpose is to serve our community, you know. So when there's a shortage, they don't have to go running around and looking for taro. They know they have taro right here. They can come and get taro, or they can come and get poi, as long as we have it.
Tammy Smith and her family operate a catering and plate lunch business out of the same building.
In this catering operation, I try to use people within my community, you know, in my area to buy my products from. My green onion comes from Haula, from green growers. My poi comes from the raccoons. Whatever fishermen are available on this side, whatever fish they have, we try to purchase it from them. I try to use the community sources first and then go out from there. Who buys my food is the community. It's the local people that we take care of. This is not a tourist stop. It's a local top story place. Poi goes as the window opens. 10 o'clock, it's all sold out. It's part of our culture. So, everybody wants to be Hawaiian now. And I think being Hawaiian is being able to eat poi.
This is still not poi. This is ai. This is a small batch. And when we used to do it, we have a big family. It's a lot of Kalo you have to pay.
Poi was always in the family anyway, yes. In her family, she about 11 or 12 around a round table. All they did had a big bowl, and then we sit sideways and get our fingers in it, or spoon. Yeah. First was a 2-finger poi, and that's good enough for me. Maybe some need 3 if they have big mouth, but mine is 2 finger. Then the cake is at 1 finger.
Pololu is a poi. When it's hard to grind, hard to kui. Just like mana the Taro. When you pound, he bounce. But when you kui that poi, honor that poi. If you eat pololu, you don't care for other taros. Because that taro is honor. You eat more poi on that.
Now, you have never seen me mention the word poi. It's ku'i ka'ai. We are still preparing food. We are still preparing food. And when this is all done and ready, this pai'ai, goes into the calabash. So when you mix that to the way you like it, and then put it on the table to be eaten, that's when it becomes 1 finger, 2 finger, 3 finger poi.
For me, I like my poi, you make like this, no fall on. So they said, that's chewing poi. I said, yeah, that's the kind of poi I like. And I like a pork. Boiling,
The 2 words I can say is pure food. Everything, the whole plant can be eaten, and to me that's what I call it, pure food. And it goes with everything and anything. It's an acquired taste, and once you acquire the taste, you can eat it with anything. And we always do. We eat it with anything, spaghetti, anything, It's on the table.
Taro is eaten today by millions of people in Asia, Africa, Central and South America, the West Indies, as well as in the Pacific. It is one of the world's most nutritious foods. Kalo's starchy root is high in fiber, protein, and carbohydrates, and contains less fat than rice. The stems and leaves of the plant are filled with vitamins, calcium, and iron. Kalo nourished generations of healthy, physically powerful Hawaiians, and today it is helping to bring Hawaiians back to good health.
How are you doing? Good.
At Maluhia Church on Maui, the Hawaiian diet is in progress, with poi made by Aimoku and Lehua Pali.
21 days. We have 21 participants who is monitored by the doctors, nurses, every day, morning and evening. Like they get high blood pressure or diabetes and stuff like that. This food help them get rid of the ailments.
The Hawaiians used to eat 9 pounds of poi a day, and they stayed slender because poi is carbohydrate, so it just flushes you right out, yeah? And we didn't know that poi was our main cause. And the limo or all the other foods were condiments to the poi, not the opposite. Now we have to change our concept that poi is first. It's not a condiment. It's your main source of food.
In pressure cooker, with 1.5 hours to 2 hours.
Everything is pushed inward instead of taken out. If you steam it, it goes like this, yeah, and see. So all the nutrients is in here. And if you do it right, you eat the taro, it's sweet. Yeah, very sweet.
We named our diet La'au no Kamea Ai, which means medicine in the food. And I think it's very appropriate. It's curing our diabetics, hypertension, and also cardiac people. So, we're very proud of our food here because it's all locally grown. And we get our taro from the taro growers here in Kenai. You have to understand that we're feeding these 21 people, and they all have problems. And if you look at this, we have their lives in our hands. So we have to be extra careful.
Anyone shopping for poi knows that supply is short and prices are high. The state's largest processors now make poi only 3 times a week, and once it's delivered, it doesn't sit long on the shelves. Filling in the gaps is Vaughn Logan, who sells upland taro directly to consumers at a Honolulu swap meet.
Every time that you go into the store, if you walk near the poi section, inevitably you will hear somebody say, "Oh, this poi is so expensive. Honey, hurry up. Grab the poi before no more." Everybody thinks that there's a taro shortage. But a lot of the taro farmers that you meet will say, it's not a problem of a shortage. I need someplace to sell my taro. So something is wrong. The price of poi goes up, goes way up. Price of taro stays the same. The mills have a very, very direct control over how much taro is produced. Many of the neighbor island farmers are very dependent on the poi mills. They really have no other place to sell their taro. The demand is there. They want more poi, they want more taro, but they're not getting it. How is it going to get to the people who want to eat it? And I think that the solution is going to have to come from entrepreneurs. It is not going to come from the infrastructure that already exists. It's a tremendous opportunity because it's a big problem just waiting to be solved.
Many of Hawaii's taro growers today do not own the lo'i their families may have built and worked for generations. In Keanai and Wailuanui, farmers who lease lands from the state want to make sure the lands remain committed to Kalo.
2 or 3 weeks ago, we had a state public auction on these lois. And my biggest concern was it was specified that these agricultural lands are for diversified agriculture, which I believe that it shouldn't be. It should be for specific use, which is taro productivity. Nothing else. No diversification. Because when you look at all this land, this is an engineer feat to build all these lois. And you cannot come in here and destroy all this. This is like an archaeological site, and you cannot do it. It has to be preserved this way, and this is the way it's supposed to be. And this is the way the old Hawaiians wanted it to be, and that's why I'm working the land.
I'm trying to preserve what they did for us.
After years of negotiation, long-term leases in Waipio Valley have recently been worked out between the Taro Growers Association and the valley's largest landowner. However, another problem has emerged involving tour groups in Waipio.
Ever since I can remember, we always had tourists coming into Waipio Valley without tour operators. We never had problems when that used to be. They used to come down on their own. Today the valley is divided. It's either you're with the tour operators or you're a Taro farmer, and because it's divided, you have more conflict. I don't think we have to give up our culture. The valley has been known to grow taro.
And it's nothing about tourists. It's just how it started and how it's grown out of proportion, And the valley is hurting, and it needs time to heal. I don't think Waipio was ever put here to be rich.
If you would compare farmers and tour operators, they make way more money than what we make per day, but what you feel inside is a better quality than the actual dollar.
I think when you work the land and you're a farmer, it's like everyone is equal. We're all equal. We bend as low as the next farmer or whatever, and we also enjoy the same rewards.
Most of my water comes from the mountains. All the springs add up, and they all come seeping down there, down in the river. You gotta let some water go in the river. It's not just you and your demand, but it's the environment also. The water has to touch the ocean water, because that's where the sweet water is at. The fish from the outside won't come to the coast, and all from the mountains will do the same. And this is where they propagate. So for us Hawaiians, then that's a must. We need to keep the door open. We need to have the waters flowing.
Windward Oahu Taro farmers sued the Board of Water Supply in 1976 for restoration of stream flow that had been severely reduced by municipal pumping. For most Taro farmers, going to court to reclaim stream flow may not be a practical solution.
Can you afford to meet the challenge is what it comes down to. Our water rates case, luckily we qualified for legal aid. You can write all the laws you want, but if you can't afford to go to court, it doesn't matter. You can't enforce your right. You have to be able to enforce your right. It's like, the famous McBride case.
You win, you get it.
As a 50-year-old case, and they were able to pay those lawyers for a couple of generations. And there were Taro farmers there. And they got squeezed out. The argument with, two sugar companies were fighting with each other over taking the water, and the guys who were in the middle
using the water,
they're forgotten. Long forgotten. Long gone. Their taro patches dried up, and they left.
Water would be, I guess, the number one issue. We had a time where a hydro company was trying to take water from the Hanalei River into the Wailua River so that they can run the hydro there in Wailua. And we fought that, and we, won. But I've heard that they are regrouping the hydro company, and they're reapplying again. And so we need to regroup also.
When my dad them and my grandma them was raising taro, they have 3 sources of water. One is the spring, the other one comes down from the mountain, and we used to take from the river. So we had lots of water. So when I started opening up patches, I only had the spring. Then when I tried to reopen the other ditches, the plantation, didn't like the idea. They're so greedy about the water, telling that's theirs. So had a big commotion, almost throw blows, everything. But they told me, I can't take the water, that's not my right. So what I just did is they just laid my pipeline and I just took the water and I got all the water I like today. And they didn't see me about it, so I have all the water I get now.
Exact same place where the sugar plantations diverted the water out of the valley for sugar plantations. They put the sugar fields down below here, which was legal for them to, where they robbed the lo'i from the water. I mean, the water, they took the water, dried up the lo'i for sugar. We went right back there and stuck our pipes in the sugar cane. We put our dam there, a small little dam, and put our pipes right there. But that sugarcane system was over the ancient system. It's where the Po'ekahiko had ran the away. So we felt perfectly justified in bringing water back.
The Waihole Ditch and Tunnel System collects water from 37 stream intakes in the wet windward valleys of Waihole, Waikane, and Kahana. This water is transported through the Ko'olau Mountains to the sugar fields of the Ewa Plain more than 15 miles away. When it opened in 1916, stream flow and the taro growers who depended on the streams were immediately affected. Now that the sugar industry is in decline, the future of this water is of great interest to many people. Taro farmers in Waihole Valley want some of the water back.
We're dealing with the remnants of our stream system, the last little trickles that are left, which they want to take. But that's all that's left, just the remnant. And here we got 2 acres of taro on Wai'anu stream, which feeds into Waihole. And this 2 acres of taro has already reached the limit.
Yeah.
Or before, on this one stream system, there might have been, 50 acres.
In 1916, when they put the tunnel in, and that water started going to the other side for sugar, it happened overnight. The stream flow, I think the average flow in Waihole stream was 25 million gallons a day, and now it's 4. And there's 30 million gallons a day going from this side to that side. That water will keep development going for 10, 20 years if they can get all of that water.
We feel that it should come back to us, and they're going to say, no, we're going to change the use and keep using it over there. They own the delivery system.
For sure, that's going to be something that we'll be involved in the near future, is laying claim to at least part of that water for this valley and for Waikani too. Agriculture needs to have low-cost water.
This water is going to be way too valuable. Water in a stream, it's already considered a waste use of water to leave it in the stream and run into the ocean unused. How wasteful! But a stream it's almost like a being. It has a life of its own, has a right to exist. It's like that mountain. Should we go level that mountain and put houses? No, a mountain is something that has a right to exist too. And we kind of feel like that too. We're really privileged to have land and water and be able to survive, self-subsistence lifestyle and everything. But are we doomed to, like the streams have been doomed? Are we a dying species, or are we something new beginning again? Hard to say.
In this complex and difficult world we live in, people remain dedicated to the cultivation of kalo. From the time of Haloa to the present day, these roots have survived to nourish future generations.
We got our huli from Uncle Harry, Mitchell. We helped him harvest all the huli, all that taro, put it on the back of his truck, and all the roots were facing us. And me, John, and Uncle Harry were standing there with us. Okay, boys, that's us right there. That's Hawaii. That's us right there. And from there on, this is all the huli from there. It's all the taro. And that's really us, that's really how cool the Hawaiians are, is the Kalo.
I know you have to go through panic problems, all those things. But if you can only teach your children, hopefully that, they will continue to do the things that our kupuna did. Taro is another thing that you will make plenty of money. It's hard work.
But if you love the things you have done before with your parents, it will touch your heart. It's important that we all carry on.
Roots of these islands belong to Hawaiian people. We've got to rise up and look around. The roots of these islands are ours to be found. Malama Aina is what they once said. I'm on the roots now before it is dead.
The people gotta bring back that Taro. I know can bring back that Taro all by myself. You know, I can only do so much. But the people gotta fight. You know, get off that rocking chair, get outside, stop that lawnmower and all that weed eater, and just, you know, easy. You know, you don't need work hard. You know, as long as you easy clean, little bit. That's how you're gonna make it. That's why I'm just gonna keep opening and planting till I die. That's all.
Kalo roots that we need to survive. With the roots from past to present.